Hi everyone, meteorologist Chad Evans here with a look at your daily weather forecast video, sponsored always by Trent Johnson State Farm. Trent is my agent.com. Huge thanks to Trent. Huge thanks to all of our other sponsors. Huge thanks to all of you. I'm truly blessed that I get to serve the community that I love so much and wanted to raise my kids in every single day. And even though I'm pretty constrained on how many emails and messages I can respond to, because I'm covering every weather shift, basically 24/7, 365. So my days are extremely packed, or constantly looking at the weather. I hear you and I see you and I appreciate you, and you are my boss and I work strictly for you. And I want to do good work for you, and I promise I'll give you 110% every single day. And speaking of that, I've been working on this forecast today, been working on it this morning and last night, and a lot of things are still pretty much the same. I made just a few small tweaks to the outlook here, but it is still going to get much warmer. We still have severe weather risk Thursday evening and Thursday night. And then we still have a hard freeze coming Friday night, early Saturday morning after flurries on Friday morning. And it still looks very active beyond that point. As we end March and move into the first several days of April, multiple rounds of showers and storms. But there's also still a window where soils are going to dry out after all that rain. And we should be able to get some corn and soybeans in the ground before April is finished. Today, we've got some high mid-level clouds streaming in from the west-northwest. We'll have kind of a partly cloudy sky this afternoon. Even though it's colder, still watch for the bees. I was showing you this yesterday. I had 2 bee stings on my face. They're healing up now, but I got stung pretty good over the weekend working in the garden and trying to I was burning some prairie grass and working on some brush. So the bees were out there this weekend. They'll be back out as it really starts to warm up again. There may be a few slow-moving ones today, given the chill we've got. So temps are running in the low 40s to around 50 now. You can tack on about another 6 to 10 degrees to these numbers, and those will be your highs today. And we see the high clouds around Delphi and also here at Petersburg. And we'll have partly cloudy skies tonight and into tomorrow as well. Now, tomorrow night, overnight, there could be an isolated shower or a little thunderstorm as kind of a secondary warm front goes through. Then we become mostly sunny to sunny early Thursday, followed by cumulus clouds developing over the sky, and then we'll be watching thunderstorms developing. So you can see these are supercells and supercell clusters at first, as this goes right up to 8 p.m. after midday Thursday. You see these thunderstorms blowing up in the area. With time, they will begin to merge together and form a line pretty much right on top of our area. So it is a wind, hail, and risk of a couple EF0 to EF2 tornadoes at first. And then as the line gels together over the area, it should become more of a wind threat with time. But there you see the threats. Some locally heavy rainfall of more than 1.25 inches can't be ruled out. And early in the process of the storms blowing up, there could be some pretty big hail. Wouldn't surprise me if we get some golf ball sized hail in some places from this. And even though we're at a 2 out of 5 on the scale right now, or a slight risk, I do think we'll have an upgrade to a 3 out of 5 on the scale in future Storm Prediction Center outlooks. And then it's the hard freeze on Saturday morning with lows deep into the 20s. I'm talking about 21 to about 26 degrees around the area. It'll nip things a little bit that are progressing along. I'm starting to see sugar maples begin to bud and blossom now. And the tulip trees that were burned off, well, they've got some new leaves unfurling. So hopefully those newly unfurling leaves don't get burned off. And the magnolias, if your tree wasn't burned the first time and is blooming now, it may get burned a little bit coming up Friday night, early Saturday morning. But that doesn't last. Look at this. It's warmth. It's big warmth coming. Ending March, moving into early April, and with that, a very active weather pattern. Multiple rounds of rain and storms, probably 4 or 5 rounds of rain and thunderstorms between March 31st and about April the 7th, and at the very least 2 rounds of severe weather risk for our area. And then a surface high comes in and it gets colder around April the 8th with frost until this big deep upper trough to the west. You'll see it right here dropping in. This is the next one right here. This brings warmth and storms back into the forecast in that April 10th to 13th time frame. So you see the severe weather risk blowing up in the plains at the end of March, and we're going to start to get in on some of that severe weather risk as well, and a wet weather pattern over the area. You know, we may very well end up with 4 to 7 inches of rain between the 31st of March and about April the 7th. So wet soils are by the 8th of April, then it dries a hair, and then more rainfall April 10th through 13th. So it's going to be wet by April the 14th, with even some rivers above flood stage. But the 14th through about the 26th, maybe as late as the 28th, features below normal rainfall here. And even though initially it may be frost and freezing, I do think it will warm up. And by, the 25th, 26th of April, it's going to be in the 80s. So the soils will be drying. We'll be able to get in the field, get some ground worked, and start to get corn and soybeans planted in the ground. So 41 tonight gives way to a 70 tomorrow with the winds picking up from the south-southwest. I raised these temperatures just a hair. I'm going from mid to upper 60s in the east, around 70 to the low 70s, pretty much 231 and westward for tomorrow. Thursday's a warm day. Again, the morning warmest low temperature on record at 63, set in, I believe, 2007. I know the record high on the date is 83, set in 1907, so it's going to be close to that. A lot of wind and severe weather risk by evening in the 6 to 11 p.m. time frame, and then overnight Wednesday night, maybe an isolated shower or a small thunderstorm, but highs 81 to 85 with juicy dew points rising into the 60s, followed by 30s and flurries on Friday morning. Decreasing clouds late in the day, 45, a hard freeze on Friday night, 60s Sunday, 70s Monday, pushing 80 on Tuesday. And then it starts to get active. Showers, storms later Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, off and on showers, storms, severe weather risk, but warm temperatures to push that vegetation forward in a big way, and the mushrooms to start popping up. Lows in the 60s, highs near 80.